In recent times, the United Kingdom has made a notable shift in its foreign policy by strengthening its relationship with China, signaling a pragmatic approach to global power dynamics. This shift has become particularly evident as the UK diverges from the strategies of its longtime Western allies, including the United States and the European Union. The UK's new stance emphasizes high-level political engagement and structured financial dialogues, acknowledging China's increasing influence as a major global power. This change in direction was underscored in November 2024 during the G20 summit in Rio de Janeiro, when UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer met with Chinese President Xi Jinping. This marked the first in-person meeting between the two nations' leaders since 2018, highlighting the growing importance of the UK-China relationship. During this meeting, both leaders emphasized the need for a strong bilateral partnership and explored areas of cooperation, such as trade, investment, clean energy, financial services, and healthcare. A key outcome of the meeting was a mutual commitment to maintaining consistent and open communication, avoiding surprises, and building mutual trust. Building on this momentum, plans were made to resume the UK-China Economic and Financial Dialogue, EFD, which had been dormant since 2019. In January 2025, UK Chancellor Rachel Reeves is scheduled to visit Beijing to co-chair the dialogue alongside Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng. The dialogue is expected to address critical aspects of economic cooperation, including trade disputes, investment regulations, and joint projects in key sectors like financial services and clean energy. This renewed engagement is part of the UK's broader strategy to strengthen its economic ties with China, despite ongoing concerns over potential national security risks and economic sovereignty. While the US and EU have adopted a more confrontational stance against China, imposing sanctions and trade restrictions, the UK is pursuing enhanced diplomatic and trade relations with Beijing, recognizing the economic opportunities presented by China's growing role as a global leader. This pivot by the UK is not without its challenges. Critics argue that this approach may strain traditional alliances with the United States and the European Union, especially as both have increasingly viewed China's rise with skepticism. Former US President Donald Trump, along with key policymakers in the EU, have expressed concerns about closer ties with Beijing, viewing it as a potential threat to Western unity and security. Additionally, there are voices within the UK itself who urge caution, particularly in safeguarding national interests as China's global influence expands. Nevertheless, the UK seems determined to pursue a balanced approach that respects its historical ties with the West while also recognizing the strategic benefits of engaging with China in the context of an increasingly multipolar world. The UK-China relationship has deep historical roots, shaped by periods of both cooperation and tension. British contact with China dates back to the early 17th century, primarily driven by trade interests, notably the British East India Company's efforts to establish commercial ties and trade goods like tea, silk, and porcelain. However, the relationship was often fraught with tensions, especially in the 19th century, when differences in trade practices and diplomatic misunderstandings culminated in the Opium Wars of the 1840s and 1850s. These conflicts led to the Treaty of Nanking in 1842, which ceded Hong Kong to Britain and marked the beginning of an era of unequal treaties that severely affected China's sovereignty. In the 20th century, the relationship between the two countries was further complicated by Britain's involvement in suppressing the Boxer Rebellion and navigating the political landscape after the fall of China's Qing dynasty in 1912. World War II, however, brought Britain and China together as allies against Japanese aggression, fostering a sense of camaraderie. Post-war relations were complicated by the Chinese Civil War and the establishment of the People's Republic of China in 1949. Despite initial reservations, the UK was one of the first Western countries to recognize the new government in Beijing in 1950, though full diplomatic relations were not established until 1972. The issue of Hong Kong remained a significant point of contention throughout the 20th century, culminating in the 1984 Sino-British Joint Declaration, which set the terms for the territory's handover to China in 1997 under the principle of one country, two systems. In the 21st century, the UK and China's relationship grew closer, particularly during what was referred to as the Golden Era of relations, which saw increased high-level visits, stronger trade links, and greater educational exchanges. However, issues such as human rights concerns in Hong Kong and Xinjiang, as well as security issues related to Chinese investments in critical infrastructure, led to a re-evaluation of bilateral relations in more recent years. The UK's approach to China has been characterized by cautious engagement, trying to balance economic opportunities with national security concerns. A key example of this balancing act was the UK's decision to allow, and later restrict, Chinese tech giant Huawei's involvement in its 5G network. Furthermore, the UK's response to China's actions in Hong Kong, including offering a pathway to citizenship for Hong Kong residents, has shaped the ongoing relationship between the two countries. Trade between the UK and China represents approximately 8% of the UK's total trade, covering a wide range of industries, including automotive, technology, and consumer goods. For example, the UK exports luxury vehicles, such as Jaguar and Land Rover, to China, which has seen strong demand in affluent urban centers like Shanghai and Beijing. Chinese imports of British agricultural products, such as whiskey, have also increased. The UK's departure from the European Union has impacted its trade relations with neighbouring EU countries, leading to the introduction of new trade barriers and regulatory divergences, which have increased costs and complexities for UK businesses. In response to these challenges, the UK has sought to establish new trade agreements with non-EU countries, notably joining the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, a trade bloc that includes countries like Japan, Canada, and Australia. The UK's deepening trade ties with China come at a time when the UK is looking to diversify its trade partnerships to offset the negative impacts of Brexit. China's substantial industrial capacity and large consumer market present significant opportunities for the UK to reduce trade deficits and access new markets. However, the UK's growing engagement with China also involves navigating complex geopolitical challenges and ensuring that its trade policies align with broader foreign policy and security objectives. China has also played a significant role in investing in the UK's infrastructure, notably in projects like the Hinkley Point C nuclear power station. This project, a joint venture between EDF Energy and China General Nuclear Power Group, sees China holding a 33.5% stake, contributing approximately £6 billion to its development. The Hinkley Point C project, expected to cost between £31 billion and £35 billion, will create up to 25,000 jobs during its construction phase, providing a boost to the local and national economy. Other Chinese investments in UK infrastructure include shares in Heathrow Airport and Thames Water, two critical services that have benefited from Chinese capital. Beyond infrastructure, Chinese investment in UK tech startups, particularly in the fintech and biotech sectors, has increased, helping to fund innovation and market expansion. For instance, UK venture capital firm Fuel Ventures secured a £20 million investment from Chinese funds in December 2024, aimed at fostering collaboration in fintech and artificial intelligence. Chinese investors have also shown a growing interest in the UK's biotechnology sector, exemplified by AstraZeneca's acquisition of Chinese biotech firm Gracell Technologies in 2024. This growing financial and technological collaboration reflects the mutual benefits of closer ties, particularly in sectors that are central to both nations' economic futures. Financial collaboration, especially in areas like sustainable finance and currency globalization, presents significant opportunities. The UK and China are already engaged in projects like the UK-China Green Finance Centre, which aims to accelerate global efforts towards sustainability. London's status as a global financial hub is further solidified by its role in facilitating the internationalization of the Chinese yuan and enhancing cooperation in digital payment systems. On the educational front, the UK and China have cultivated a strong partnership. Chinese students make up the largest group of international students in the UK, with over 151,000 students enrolled in the 2023 academic year, contributing significantly to the UK economy. In addition, both countries collaborate on a wide range of research projects, spanning fields such as medicine, artificial intelligence, and renewable energy. These academic and research partnerships are key to fostering mutual understanding and long-term goodwill between the nations. Despite the many opportunities presented by this growing relationship, challenges remain, including integration issues for Chinese students in the UK and concerns about academic freedom and security. Nonetheless, The expanding ties between the UK and China in education, trade, and technology illustrate the potential for a mutually beneficial partnership in a rapidly evolving global landscape. In conclusion, the United Kingdom's pivot toward China reflects a strategic and pragmatic approach to global power dynamics. By strengthening its ties with China, the UK aims to capitalize on economic opportunities, enhance technological innovation, and play a pivotal role in shaping the future of international trade and finance. However, this shift requires careful navigation to balance the benefits of closer relations with the need to safeguard national security and maintain the UK's traditional alliances. As both nations deepen their economic, political, and cultural ties, the UK-China relationship is poised to be a defining feature of the global landscape in the years to come.